Hello, this is Fabrizio.
Marco.
Gabriel.
Welcome to Calcio Worldwide. Today, we'll be reacting to the past Conference League final between Fiorentina and West Ham.
I mean, you guys know what happened. We'll just talk about
Yeah.
it.
So right off the bat, well, we called it wrong. But look, what did I see in this game? Gab, you when we were talking about it, you made a
we
good
watched
analysis.
we watched this together. I mean, we were furious because Fiorentina, what they did in the final was something they didn't do the whole season. And, these Premier League fans, that were obviously coming at us and,
I mean,
rightfully so.
We will never stop on the Prem. We will never stop.
We got it
That's
wrong.
just the truth.
I'm not biased. Listen, I think the Premier League is a great league, and I think it has many great players, many great teams. But that being said, I think Fiorentina is a better team than West Ham. Yeah, West Ham won the final. I give them props. But at the end of the day, if you watch Fiorentina this season, if you're a Fiorentina fan, you know in that final they did not play their game.
I think people that are just saying people are saying that West Ham were gonna win this, and then I get that, but you cannot say they played better. I think the better team did lose because what I said before. I think West Ham played more of like an Italian team with the low block, and then Fiorentina played more of like the English style. But it didn't really work for them.
Yeah, it's funny. It was the reverse.
That's
didn't work for them.
That's David Moyes' style.
Yeah, we have to give credit to David Moyes. We praised Italiano last week, but I wouldn't say we overlooked David Moyes.
He's a great coach.
No, yeah.
I don't think this game was necessarily Italiano's fault. I think it was the players' fault, and we'll get into why. But David Moyes does deserve praise. I mean, the strategy he played, we thought West Ham was going to press up more, but they stayed tight. They defended, and I was saying... you said, "Oh, West Ham are dangerous at the air," but I was like, "No, they're getting Fiorentina on the breakaway, every time." It bit them. They had one last minute, and that's all you need. West Ham took their chances.
That's the thing.
I know people are gonna say, "Oh, you still think Fiorentina's the better team?" Oh, who won? And that goes with what we said about the other day. You could play better, but are you the better team if you lose? So Fiorentina are the better team, but they're also not the better team. West Ham won.
They play better.
They're the better team. No, they did. I mean, look,
they played better. But
for
West Ham are better,
those who didn't watch the game, every time West Ham regained possession, they would immediately be dispossessed again by a Fiorentina player. But like we said yesterday, every time Fiorentina got close to the goal, it's like they lacked any confidence.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think
they were hesitant to play the through ball. They put in these poor crosses in the box.
A big thing though, Cabral didn't start. Jovic did.
I mean, I have to say though, I thought both strikers didn't even play bad.
No,
they didn't. But I feel like that's the big thing. He played in every game so far, and he was the top scorer.
Yeah,
and you don't start him for the final. I don't know about that.
But
He made some weird. The Italiano, I have to be honest, I'll criticize him during the game because, first of all, I've watched Fiorentina this season. They played really passive in this game. They played quick football, and they were playing way too slow. Their build out of the back was way too slow.
That was a confidence
and
issue.
they were never getting the ball into the front players. In the second half, like I said, when they got that penalty, West Ham, it was a wake-up call for Fiorentina. They scored right away.
Yeah, right away.
Bonaventura, I think anyone can say, was the best player on the field yesterday.
No, yeah, he was.
He shows class when he needs to.
At the end of the day, Fiorentina didn't play their game. This is what I mean. They didn't play that quick football that is similar to Brighton, Manchester City. That's how Fiorentina do play. But I felt like they didn't have that courage and experience in the final.
But here's the thing that we always talk about. What do a lot of Italian teams lack? Balls.
Yeah.
Italian team lack balls. They lack any sort of confidence. Most of them. A
lot of them.
But this is where I give credit to the Prem. Mostly the lower sides. The upper teams, I don't see it as much. But teams like West Ham, they do have balls. And it didn't take them... They didn't second-guess themselves when they were in front of goal. They took their chances, and they clearly won. Now, West Ham... the way I saw them play, obviously I wasn't impressed. You could clearly see the difference between the Conference League, also Fiorentina, and the Europa League and the Champions League. The quality is completely different.
Yeah, but
Fiorentina, they should have won this game. A lot of people were saying we're biased. Look, I'm a Juventus fan. I hate Fiorentina. I picked Fiorentina and Inter to win their games. I mean, Inter didn't play yet. We'll cover that later. But I hate them. I just call it how I see it. I picked Sevilla to win. And look, if you watch both leagues, because I know most Prem fans are very ignorant. I'm sorry, guys.
They're very biased.
Okay.
They're very biased.
They're talking about bias. But most Prem fans don't watch Serie A. But most Serie A fans watch the Prem. We all watch the Prem.
Yeah.
If you watch both teams this season, you would have to probably pick. It was probably more logical to pick Fiorentina. But football doesn't work that way. Has anyone ever called a game 100% correct ever in their lives?
No. One guy called Leicester City would win the league.
Yeah,
one guy.
Yeah, but I'm sure he hasn't predicted every game.
I mean,
nobody does.
Let's just talk about the goals, because I think it's very controversial, the first one especially.
Yeah, the penalty, listen, that was just unlucky.
It was unlucky because he was looking straight at
That's the new rule nowadays.
The man.
I think it's a penalty
because it did change the direction of the ball.
I'd say no. I'd say that's too.
Listen. His hand didn't just touch his hand and fall. It touched his hand and went that way. So I get it.
Something I want to talk about though is that Fiorentina's penalty, West Ham's penalty that went up Biraghi. They call that a handball. Now I don't want to bring up Roma again, but
I mean,
here we go.
Okay.
I mean, which one looks more clear? The Roma one or the Fiorentina one? The Roma one is clearly more of a penalty.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean with the officiating and UEFA. This is a big thing. Now, a Champions League final is coming up. I swear, if we get another horrible refereeing performance, like UEFA really has to seriously think about the
Fiorentina, we're not saying it was a horrible refereeing. It was good. The ref was fine.
No,
in
the
this
ref
game.
was good in the game.
A robbery was with Roma and Sevilla. Let's not get into that. But the ref was fine with Fiorentina against West Ham. I think he did everything. Like the calls were fine.
Yeah, I will say this: the game started to get really out of hand. The fouls were just crazy. Like
that too. Yeah.
Everything was malicious. But there's one thing I want to talk about: the way the West Ham fans behaved in the stadium. Biraghi, sorry. Biraghi. They what did they chuck? They were chucking bottles and it opened up his own thing and Biraghi handled it like class. But if you're that much of a degenerate, you shouldn't be allowed to watch a football game if you do stuff like that.
It's just
I get it if you throw insults, that's fine. It's fine. But when you start bringing violence into the picture, you shouldn't be allowed to watch the sport ever again.
We're talking about any fan, though.
Because you clearly don't love it. And I'm not just saying it for English fans. Italian fans have done it in the past. There was fighting outside of the game.
We're talking about any fan.
Any fan.
It's what you do in the stadium.
Yes, yeah. But what you do in the stadium, you're disrespecting the sport. You clearly don't like this game. You just want an excuse to cause violence.
And the players, you got to protect the players.
Yeah. Don't watch this sport ever again. You shouldn't. This is the beautiful game for a reason. Sometimes it's not. But this is out of hand. Throwing bottles at the players who are performing for you, even if they're an opposing side. There's no game without the other team.
Yeah.
That is just straight disrespectful to the sport. It's disrespectful to the players. It's disrespectful to the fans. If you're doing stuff like that, you should be you should be banned from watching the sport. You shouldn't even be allowed to attend watching the games.
Well said. But
yeah.
Well, what I do want to talk about a little bit more of the game.
The second goal.
Fiorentina, in my opinion, something they did wrong was, I told you, bringing on Barak really late was a bad decision.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was stressing that Barak was the guy who got the game winner against Basel. He should have played more. The substitutions were poor in my part for Fiorentina. On West Ham's part, I don't think that they made any crazy subs. But what I do like is that what David Moyes did well was he dropped the low block. And I've watched a little bit of West Ham this season. Jared Bowen is one of their best players.
He's so quick.
He's quick. He's great. He's actually a great footballer. He got him behind, And that was a great tactic because he's a right winger, but they put him more through the middle on the counterattack, and he scored.
I thought David Moyes was fantastic, like we said. What did you guys think of Declan Rice's performance?
Oh, he's class.
He is class, but he had better games in my opinion.
Yeah,
he had better games. I think like it wasn't his best game, but he's the CDM that he's like the guy that just dictates everything. And I like the way he plays.
I thought Emerson and Paquetá played pretty well.
Emerson played amazing. Paquetá played really great too. I think their defense was on point too. I'm not gonna lie. The low block,
Benrahma had a good game.
It worked. They did what they did.
In my opinion, Fiorentina overall have a stronger team. Like they played better together. But West Ham individually have superior players.
West Ham, I'm not gonna lie, they both went in with their game plans. West Ham,
I think it's pretty even. I mean, the best player on the pitch in that game, it was Bonaventura, a Fiorentina player. I don't necessarily think West Ham have better players. I think it was very evenly matched. I think Fiorentina collectively played better as a team, but West Ham, they proved today that they know what it takes to win. And this looks really bad for Serie A. It really does, because we went to 3 finals. One of them was controversial. We lost. Now we have one left. We lost this one.
This one we lost fair and square.
As Serie A did. I mean, you could say, look, I don't like Fiorentina. I wanted them to win this. I picked them to win this. Props to West Ham. They got the job done. But I was seeing a lot of stuff. People were saying, 14th place in the Prem is better than 8th in Serie A. That is completely false. Because if that were the case, Milan wouldn't have beat Tottenham. Napoli wouldn't have beat Liverpool.
Exactly.
That's just an ignorant
This is something I wanted to bring up.
That's ignorance.
This is the bias that I talk about.
Yeah.
The Prem is better than Serie A, than La Liga, blah, blah, blah. Let me now provide you the stats this year. AC Milan beat Tottenham, right?
Yeah.
Napoli destroyed Liverpool. Yeah, you can say that Napoli lost the return game, but let's be honest, Napoli was already through. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Manchester United got destroyed by a 12th place Sevilla team. You could tell me, Sevilla is the king of the Europa Leagues. Okay, but wasn't this Manchester United's turnaround this season?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's more. Chelsea, they beat Dortmund, but then they just got completely destroyed by Real Madrid. But Chelsea's another story. Arsenal, they lost to Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, they're focusing on the league, but Arsenal's second team is stronger than Sporting Lisbon's team. So if you're going to tell me that the Prem is miles ahead of everyone else, I don't think so.
I think it's very even right now. I mean, people are calling Serie A the Farmers League, and that is just straight ignorance, because I know you don't watch this. The Premier League, how's it been competitive the last few years? It's just been City and Liverpool, and now Liverpool's gone downhill. So it's just Manchester City. And they're good because of money. These teams have all money. It's the Premier League is already a super league. Serie A is now rising, but I don't even know if they're rising anymore because a bunch of teams are making stupid managerial decisions. Milan, Juve, Napoli, arguably right now.
Yeah.
Look, I think right now the state of football is it's for anyone to reclaim number one. There's no number one yet. Looking at this game, though, it does look bad. If you don't watch the game and you just check the score, West Ham beat Fiorentina. It does look bad.
It does.
On Serie A. It looks great for the Prem, and I'm not saying I always on the Prem. I'm not saying they're I'm not saying they're a horrible league. I am not. I'll be foolish to say that. But to say that they're absolutely miles ahead of everybody, it's just straight bias and straight ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this game, though, West Ham and the Prem as a whole, a lot of them have balls and they know what it takes to win. But a lot of them have a lot of this money coming in, and Serie A do not. The fact that Serie A managed to reach these 3 finals is impressive enough with the little resources that they have.
I mean, think about it. If a 14th place team can keep a hold of Lucas Paquetá,
who played fantastic, by the way.
Emerson Palmieri, Jared Bowen, Benrahma, Areola is a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
They have top quality players that should be playing at least for a top 8 team. Fiorentina's a top 8 team. Now, who's 14th place in Serie A? I guess like a Empoli.
The difference
is
crazy.
Money.
Yeah. But even then, I'd say some of the the leagues are pretty even, except maybe Manchester City. But now we got Inter playing them, who I think have a chance to win.
Listen, I think people just have a bias because the best players, they see the best players going to these teams in the
The
Premier
Prem
League.
is the
Super
most
League.
is the most watched league around.
Exactly.
The
No, I get
No,
why
it's
you
easily
would think.
marketed,
I
yeah.
get why you would think. Oh, it's miles ahead of everyone because you don't watch any other league. Once you do, you get a hold of like what really is happening in that league and what these teams can do.
I mean, look, now for Serie A, like we said before, Serie A won't get the credit even reaching the 3 finals unless they come home with something.
Exactly.
And the Champions League now has to be a must win. It has to be.
But we said it before. We're not going to get any respect unless we win something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I hate Inter, so we'll be talking about. Tune into our next video to cover that. But look, but I'll end it on this. West Ham. This is an impressive win for them, but just looking at the result, it doesn't tell the whole story.
It doesn't, but they did their job.
Fiorentina, we said that they've been playing great this tournament, but they have been inconsistent, and they chose the wrong game to be inconsistent. Serie A as a whole, the teams have to learn how to win. They have to learn how to not be confident in themselves and play with balls.
And you've seen it throughout every year.
And
for
that way,
Italian teams.
maybe we should take some note in the Prem. The money stuff, though, if you're a fan of football, really, that is just nobody wants that. You know what I mean? I'd rather win with honor based on skill and tactics than money. That's how I'd want to win. But look, if you like this episode, tune in to our next one. We'll be covering the Champions League final. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you don't, that's fine too. Hopefully we at least entertain you in some way. Listen, we have a TikTok and an Instagram. If you really like us, to join us on there. It's on our channel. Links on our channel. Hope you enjoyed the video.
See you next video.
See you next video.
Oh man.